Baby, I'm a rock star. I got my rock moves. Back with both barrels blazing, bastards. Now, class in session. I hope all my real niggas and niggas out there having a good day, a good evening, with a even more excellent weekend to follow. Today, what we gonna speak on, I'm gonna call this one the Murciealago Knight. Now, you may be wondering, well, why would you call it the Murciealago Knight? Came across something that was quite interesting. About a year or two ago, about last year. And I can't remember what led me to this, but I went and looked up well, you have the car brand Lamborghini, and one of their renditions of one of their cars is the Murcielago. So for one reason or another, I ended up looking up Murcielago, the meaning of the word, and it's Spanish for back. Now, here's where Lamborghini, Mr. Lamborghini comes into play. Read this is on Google. It says Murcielago, Spanish for back, was a Navarro fighting bull who gained fame after Lamborghini chose to name a supercar after him. To continue the passion for bullfighting, Ferruccio Lamborghini, the company's founder, was famous for. Now, he named the now, according to the story, he named a bull who had fought so valiantly in the bullpen or whatever that they actually spared his life after the little battle between him and the matador or whatever, or the bull man or whoever. And for one, we know, or if you don't know, the Lamborghini is the symbol, the emblem of the Lamborghini is a bull. Show it to you real quick. Quite sure y'all are familiar with it. In this material world. Get up on here. Blurry out. Gonna get it right. God damn, the fuck? Do there you go, right there. The bull. Well, you motherfuckers see it, I know. Oh, there you go. Alright. So, now, I just told you the story. Here we have a bull that was named after a bat. And the Lamborghini emblem is a bull. Now, if you go and read Ancient Egypt Light of the World, which I wish I could find that page, but I couldn't find which page it was on, but if you so desire to go pick up the book, once you read it, you'll bump into it eventually if you read the book all the way through. But you have they speak about Bata, and then I think in Europe you have the Obatala deity. But you read Ancient Egypt Light of the World, you'll see a deity called Bata. Bata is a bull. Now, within the word itself, Bata, you have bat, B-A-T, and then the A. Now, when you break the word down, it's a compound word. Ba, meaning a soul. Ta, meaning land. In Kemet, similar to soul, was a bird with the head of a man. And pretty much all type of flying creatures were considered within the zoo type were considered similar to soul, because the soul, one of the things that the soul is associated with is ascending and rising, which is what flying creatures use to raise up with wings or whatnot. So yeah, Ba-Ta, you have bat within the word, and then Ba-Ta was a bull deity or whatnot. Ba-Ta was another form of Osiris, because Osiris, the bull, was sacred to Osiris. So when you look at the word Ba-Ta, you have the soul, and then you have Ta, which means the land. Ba-Ta, Ba-Ta, the word itself means the soul which within the land. And when I say land, I don't mean just like land you go and walk out on outside. The land also is a reference to physical reality itself. So the word is basically means the soul which lies which dwells within the physical body, because that's one of the things that the bull and the cow as well represented. When you look at the female deity, Hathor, Hathor, Hat, Hut, Hat, Hut. What is a hut? A hut is something that you live under, shelter or whatnot. Same way my head's beneath this hat. You when you take shelter, when your house or your home is the hut above your head or whatnot. And then you have Hor, which is Horus. So Hathor means the home of Horus, which is when you go back, the physical aspect of things falls under the feminine principle. So when you look at the word Hathor, basically what the message that it is conveying is Horus being the soul, Hat being the home, is saying that Hathor or Isis or the mother deity, the great mother deity, or the physical aspect of the great mother deity, is the home of the soul, or where the soul is the home of the soul doing its incarnation on planet Earth. So when I look at the story, like I said in the story, they gave the name Murciealago to a bull because of his prowess in fighting. And Lamborghini named one of their cars after that bull, which coincides with their whole emblem, which is the bull. So now you go back to my ancient Formation of the Earth, Birth, Creation series. which deals with well, this is new to the thing right here, but this one here. But I'm gonna show you the bull and the bat within this in a minute. And it's just funny how all this shit lines up, you know. So when you look at the word bata, which means bull, when you read Ancient Egypt Light of the World, you'll come into a passage where they show you that it means the bull, but then within the word it has bat. And then you look at this Murciealago story where you have a bull that is named after a bat, or that is named Bat or whatnot. And then, according to what I heard through the lecture circuit, the bat is a voodoo symbol for melanin, which makes sense because it's black. It's a nocturnal creature, which melanin is a nocturnal. It's nocturnal, falls under the nocturnal, under the darkness, and yeah. So, plus it has the wings. In order to have a soul, you got it automatic. It implies having melanin. So, neuromelanin. Let me read this passage out of Secret Teachings of All Ages by Manly P. Hall. And see what his commentary on the bull. So here we go. The most important of all symbolic animals was the apis. Now, I'm gonna pause right there. You have apis, which is the bull. You have Serapis. Now, Serapis, I more so, in my studies, it more so comes up when you go into the Greek and the Roman science or whatnot. But it's Osirian. It's like I don't want to necessarily say the Greek version of Osiris, but you could probably look at it like that. So the most important of all symbolic animals was the apis, or Egyptian bull of Memphis, which was regarded as the sacred vehicle for the transmigration of the soul of the god Osiris. So it's basically telling you that the physical body is the physical body is where the soul comes to undergo a transformation or whatnot, an ascendance. Okay. It was declared that the apis was conceived by a bolt of lightning, and the ceremony attended upon its selection and its consecration was one of the most impressive in Egyptian ritualism. The apis had to be marked in a certain manner. Herodotus states that the bull must be black with a square white spot on his forehead, the form of an eagle, probably a vulture, on his back, a beetle upon or under his tongue, and the hair of his tail lying two ways. Other writers declare that the sacred bull was marked with 29 sacred symbols. His body was spotted, and upon his right side was a white mark in the form of a crescent. That's the reference to the moon right there. But after its sanctification, the apis was kept in a stable adjacent to the temple and led in processionals through the streets of the city upon certain solemn occasions. Sound familiar to you? Moses, 10 Commandments, the golden calf. Okay. It was through the streets of the city upon certain solemn occasions. It was a popular belief among the Egyptians that any child upon whom the bull breathed would become illustrious. After reaching a certain age, the apis was taken. After reaching a certain age, 25 years, the apis was taken either to the river Nile or to the sacred fountain. Authorities differ on this point. That's in forgot what they call them goddamn thing. Not quotations, but that's in the little indentation marks, whatever the fuck that shit called. Anyway, this mourning and wailing for his death continued until the new Apis was found, when it was declared that Osiris had reincarnated, whereupon rejoicing took the place of grief. Now the drowning represents the rebirth. So to be born, when you're born, you come into this physical body. It's a symbolical death. Your soul goes to sleep, so to speak, and then your path of your path to get knowledge of self is what resurrects you. So when you born, your soul goes to sleep, or you lose knowledge of your soul, and then your life experience through your experiences in life, you resurrect your soul by coming into the understanding of your soul and coming into the understanding that ye are gods, for lack of a better way to put it. The soul is the sun, or is the sun. Your soul is the sun. You want to see a rendition of what I just read? If you was to go to the West Coast and face the water, the beach on the West Coast, and face the water, and watch the sunset and sink into the when the sun sets and goes beneath the horizon of the earth, it's going to seem as if it's going beneath the waters of the ocean. That's when you get your whole baptism thing. You know, when you go to church and they baptize, you're supposed to be born again. They dunk you under the water. That's supposed to be the purification process, purifying you of your sins. Then you, when they pull your head up, so when they dunk you in the water, that's the sun setting on the west. When they pull you out of the water, pull your head from out of the water, that represents the that comes from the that's parallel with the sun rising in the east or whatnot. So that's how all that coincides with each other and whatnot. Okay, so the worship of the bull was not confined to Egypt, but was prevalent in many nations of the ancient world. In India, Nandi, the sacred white bull of Shiva, is still the object of much veneration, and both the Persians and the Jews accepted the bull as an important religious symbol. The Assyrians, Phoenicians, Chaldeans, and even the Greeks reverenced this animal, and Jupiter turned himself into a white bull to abduct Europa. Now Jupiter is Ayupatar. It's another form of Patar, the builder. He was the beetle. That's why they say the bull had to have the beetle on his tongue, because the beetle is the builder. The scarab beetle, Patar. But the deity Patar is represented by the scarab beetle. The scarab beetle is a symbol that was sacred to masons, miners, and builders or whatnot. And Jupiter is associated with the creation of the building of the physical world or whatnot. So I'll continue on. The bull was a powerful phallic emblem signifying the paternal creative power of the demiurges. Okay, so when they say he's a powerful phallic emblem, it's meaning he's a symbol of masculinity. Phallic, or the phallus, is the penis or whatnot. So he represented the masculine, just like Hathor was the feminine aspect. Osiris is the masculine, the phallic, the solar phallic energy. Your sperm is solar phallic energy. Your sperm is like each drop of sperm is is the same as a ray of sun coming from out of the sun or whatnot. So now when we talk about this demiurge thing real quick, let me see what I'm looking like on the time. First and foremost. Alright, we good. So when we talk about this demiurge thing, you usually hear the demiurge and it's considered oh, this bad the demiurge. Oh, this big bad demiurge. Well, the demiurge, from what I've picked up through study, is the quote unquote God or whatever that created the physical universe and trapped our souls inside of these physical bodies. And when you hear the name demiurge, it's pretty much have a negative stigma. When you viewing it from a Gnostic standpoint. Now, here's the thing about that. When you look at the demiurge, if the demiurge, we said the demiurge created this physical existence and then trapped us in here or whatever. But then when I did the science and I pretty much figured out the whole formation, how the whole universe came into formation, you will see that all the Egyptian deities, because we look at the demiurge as negative, but then, and we say the demiurge created the physical universe, but then when I did the science, i.e., go check out formation of the earth, birth of the sun. When I did the science and put everything together, all I seen was the same deities that we venerate, all the Kamite deities, and just to be a little particular, that we venerate, all partaking in the process of creating this physical place, the earth in particular. And a lot of the things, a lot of the attributes that are associated with these deities, Osiris, Isis, Sut, Ptah, Nephthys, Anubis, a lot of the attributes that are associated with these deities are attributes that reference particular processes that took place in commission of building this place. So it's like, well, we say we look down on demiurge and we venerate our Kemetic deities, and we say the demiurge is responsible for creating this physical planet or place and stuffing us in it. But then when I did the science, I seen all the goddamn Kamite deities popping up and being exemplary of the process that took place when we created everything. So now, so when I speak on the demiurge, what I'm saying is the demiurge is not a thing out there or something like that. The demiurge is a psychological, the best way to put it is to say that the demiurge is a psychological condition that where, or psychological condition where a person who is demiurgic, for lack of a better way of putting it, has only a knowledge of the physical existence of things. So as opposed to just saying, oh, the whole physical experience is negative and fuck the earth and all this shit, it's more so of the real deal is physical reality becomes negative when this is the only thing that you have a knowledge of. The only thing you have knowledge of is the physical reality, and you have no understanding of spirituality or no sense of spirituality and not understanding the soul inside of you or whatnot, that's when your mentality becomes demiurgic and you become attached to the physical with no regard to the spiritual. It's more so of a demiurgic mentality. So we just, the way I see it is, instead of looking at the demiurge as, oh, he created this physical place and trapped us here. No, it's the demiurge really is the ego, because the ego is the part of you that is of this place, of the physical, and it's necessary. You have to have an ego So people talk like ego death. It's like, no, it's not about the ego death. It's about putting the ego in its proper place and keeping it in its proper place. Because the ego is what guides you through the physical world, and you need your ego while you're here. But if you're too egotistical, then this means that you're only concerned with the physical thing. So you're only concerned with what you're gonna eat next, who I'm gonna fuck next, how can I do this, how can I do that. You got people out there and taking a step further, organized religion or orthodox religion is demiurgic, because they don't teach you. And when I say that, I'm not talking about the actual books of these, because like I said, I can tell you Christianity is demiurge, but when you read the way that they present it to you is demiurge, the way that the church presented it to you. Because even the Bible tell you that the kingdom of heaven is within, and I'm quite sure there's many other quotes that basically mean or refer to the soul that is within or whatever. But they don't focus on that. They don't tell you that you are God. You ain't never heard your preacher, even though it's in the Bible, you ain't never heard your preacher tell you are God. And I got a whole other story on that, but I ain't got time to tell it, but I'm going to make sure I get that out eventually, because I want to show y'all something about preachers and shit. But so that's my spiel on the demiurge right there. Let me get back to this. It's gonna something else gonna pop up in here that's gonna correspond to what I just said. But dig this. So at his death, he was frequently mummified and buried with the pomp and dignity of a god in a specially prepared sarcophagus. Excavations in the Serapeum at Memphis have uncovered the tombs of more than 60 of these sacred animals. As the sun rising over the horizon at the vernal equinox constitutes the starry body of the annual incarnation of the sun, the bull not only was a celestial symbol of the solar man, but because the vernal equinox took place in the constellation of Taurus, was called the breaker or opener of the year. Now I'm gonna get back to that in a second. That's key right there. For this reason, in astronomical symbolism, the bull is often shown breaking the annular egg with his horns. The apis further signifies that the god/mind is incarnated in the body of a beast, and therefore that the physical beast form is the sacred vehicle of the divinity. That's the glorified body. When it becomes a sacred vehicle, okay, let me break it down. Man's lower personality is the apis, in which Osiris incarnates. So apis is the bull. That's why I says your lower personality. The lower personality is the ego. The I, the individual self. That the part of you that would make it a little harder for you to understand the collective of all this, of everything. It's the me, or whatever. So that's why it says that the apis is where is that? That's why it says man's lower personality is the apis in which the Osiris incarnates. So in other words, it's saying that your lower personality or your ego is the part of you that is attached to the physical, and your soul, which is the divine part of you, incarnates into the physical. And your soul, your job is to use your ego to operate and commission to find out about who you are as a god, and to be guided by the soul process, or by the soul, as opposed to the physical reality or whatnot. So the result of the combination is the creation of Sorapis, Sor, S-O-R/Apis, or Serapis, S-E-R-A-P-I-S. And see, that goes back to what I was telling y'all in when I was doing the formation of the Earth videos. These vowels I'm starting to see are interchangeable. Because just like right here, you have S-O-R Apis, and then right next to it, and he give you the variation, which is S-E-R-A-P-I-S, A-E-I-O-N-U. Soar Apis. R and L in Kemet is interchangeable. So you take that L, when you take that L and put it on there, it's what? Soul Apis. The soul and the Apis. Soul and the bull. Soul and the physical. Even the word Apis, Ap, is a feminine deity, and is refers to Isis, which is a feminine deity, and the feminine falls under the physicality falls up under the feminine energy or whatnot. So the result of the combination is the creation of Serapis, the material soul as ruler of the irrational material body and involved therein. After a certain period, which is determined by the square 5 or 25 years, the body of the Apis is destroyed and the soul liberated by the water which drowns the material life. Which goes back to what I was telling y'all about the whole baptismal thing. This was indicative of the washing away of the material nature by the baptismal waters of divine light and truth. The drowning of the Apis is the symbol of death. The resurrection of Osiris and the new bull is the symbol of eternal renovation. The white bull was also symbolically sacred as the appointed emblem of the initiates, signifying the spiritualized material bodies of both man and nature. When the vernal equinox no longer occurred in the sign of Taurus, the sun god incarnated in the constellation of Aries, and the ram then became the vehicle of the solar power. So see, what you gotta understand is, our solar system, every 26,000 years, it makes a full revolution around the star system Sirius. And then within our solar system, the zodiac circle is moving as well. So every zodiac sign meets with the sun at the vernal equinox, which is when the sun is basically shining at the center point of the or shining up or when the sun lines up with the horizon of the earth at springtime. And I'll show y'all what I mean in a minute. But when the sun makes it to that point where it lines up with the earth, it's a particular zodiac sign that the sun is in when this happens. And that sign occupies that position of the vernal equinox for 2,160 years, if I'm not mistaken. And then the next sign, after that, the next sign takes that position, and then the sun becomes represented by whatever sign, i.e. this, the Aries, whatever sign begins to occupy that position. So it's, when it's the bull, the sun is considered to be rising above the, or going into the a position in regards to the earth, that's or going into a more northerly position in regards to the in relation to the earth. Once it passes the vernal equinox, whatever sign is in that at that position is what the sun is symbolized by, or whatever. So when the vernal equinox no longer occurred in the sign of Taurus, the sun god incarnated in the constellation of Aries, and the ram then became the vehicle of the solar power. Thus the sun rising in the sign of the celestial lamb triumphs over the symbolic serpent of darkness. The lamb is a familiar emblem of purity because of its gentleness and the whiteness of its wool. In many of the pagan mysteries, it signifies the universal savior, and in Christianity, it is the favorite symbol of Christ. Early church paintings show a lamb standing up on a little hill, and from his feet pour 4 streams of living water, signifying the 4 Gospels. The blood of the lamb is the solar light poured into the world through the sign of Aries. Solar light being the solar rays of the sun and whatnot. So it's saying that the sun being the lamb and the blood being the solar rays pouring from the sun into the atmosphere of the earth. So the goat is both phallic, is a phallic symbol and also an emblem of courage or aspiration because of its sure-footedness and ability to scale the loftiest peaks. See, now that's why I said the goat is a phallic symbol. That's why you have that herb called horny goat weed that helps you get your Johnson up, with your erectile dysfunctional niggas or whatnot. God forbid. So yeah, that's why they call that horny goat weed. And really, that's why the term horny is considered being in a lustful state, or associated with being in a lustful state, because the goat is a phallic symbol, and when you horny, your phallus rises. The goat has the horns, horny, boom, boom, boom. So to the alchemist, the goat head was the symbol of sulfur. The practice among the ancient Jews of choosing a scapegoat upon which to heap the sins of mankind is merely an allegorical depiction of the Son, man, who is the scapegoat of the world, and upon whom are cast the sins of the 12 houses of the celestial universe. The truth is the divine lamb worshipped throughout the pagandom and slain for the sins of the world. And since the dawn of time, the savior gods of all religions have been personifications of this truth. The golden fleece sought by Jason and is organized is the celestial lamb, the spiritual and the intellectual son. The secret doctrine is also typified by the golden fleece, the wool of the divine life, the rays of the sun of truth. Sweetest declares the golden fleece to have been in reality a book written upon the skin which contained the formulae for the production of gold by means of chemistry. You go look at my formation of the earth, birth of the sun video, you'll see why I talk about how the earth's surface was the tablets Tahuti was writing on and whatnot. So that's what they're talking about right here with the book. They're talking about the actual physical, the light casting upon the physical flat surface of the earth or whatnot. The mysteries were instituted. Hold on, let me see. Okay, yeah, the mysteries. Hold on. The sweetest declares the golden fleece to have been in reality a book written upon skin, which contained the formulae for the production of gold by means of chemistry. The mysteries were institutions erected for the transmutation of base ignorance into precious illumination. That's what I'm just telling y'all about the resurrection. Your soul being buried in a body, and your lower personality being the base nature. But when you rise into the knowledge of the soul, which is the gold, you're basically transmutating your existence from a merely physical a mere occupation with a mere would have merely a occupation with physical life as it is, to not only to you transmuting from that into a soul sojourn or whatever, where not only do you take the physical into consideration, because you don't just count out the physical, you still have to do things around here and to survive, as well as to coming to the knowledge of self, whether it is reading a book or going and listening to somebody or whatever. But when you do that transformation, you become divine, and you dwell amongst the deities and the gods or whatnot. That's why when I do videos, that's why I can always show you evidence of certain people who are passed on, like Pac and Selena and Aaliyah. I can show you evidence through certain happenings, because I am of that now. Though I walk amongst the humans or whatnot, but I'm always within the the divine effulgence, to add a flary word to it, effulgence on you niggas. Yeah. So the immortal one. Thought you had something, nigga. The mysteries were institutions erected for the transmutation of base ignorance into precious illumination. So it's basically saying that the sacred teachers or whatever were created and left behind for them back then as well, but for now for us to rediscover so that we can get back to transforming from thinking that we're just humans and being gods or divine. So the dragon of ignorance was the terrible creature. See, the dragon of ignorance. See, ignorance is a fucking cancer. See, there's two types of ignorance. You have arrogant ignorance. Arrogant ignorance is an ignorance where you're ignorant, but you're not aware that you're ignorant. So, and you're ignorant in your ignorance. So you thinking you know it all. Like, oh, yeah, man, I'm a Christian. God is this, and you don't know what you're talking about with all that comedic shit. And you don't even want to listen to what a nigga's saying. You just, yeah, that's arrogant ignorance. But then you have another form of ignorance where inquisitive ignorance, or ignorance that leads way to inquisitiveness. And what I'm saying is an ignorance that makes you when you realize you're ignorant and you say, you know what, I'm ignorant of this, or I'm ignorant of that. But I don't want to be ignorant of that. So let me do what I got to do to find out things that will make me not ignorant of whatever the topic at hand is. So, yeah. Don't be an arrogant, ignorant nigga. It'll cost you. The dragon of ignorance was a terrible creature set to guard the golden fleece and represent the darkness of the old year which battles with the sun at the time of his equinoctial passage. Deer were sacred in the Bacchic mysteries of the Greeks. The Bacchantes were all the Bacchantes. It ain't spelled like that, but that's basically what I'm trying to say. The Bacchantes were often clothed in fawn skins. Deer were associated with the worship of the moon goddess, and the Bacchic orgies were usually conducted at night. The grace and speed of this animal caused it to be accepted as the proper symbol of aesthetic abandon. Deer were objects of veneration with many nations. In Japan, herds of them are still maintained in connection with the temples. So I went ahead and read that all the way through because the deer, the antlers and horns are symbols of nature. So when you look at the devil, when you see with the horns, they took when Christianity came up with this spookism version of the devil, they took the horn. They tried to the people who understood all this information I'm telling you now and venerated the bull and the animals with horns. They took the horns and put them on the quote-unquote Christianity type devil, and as if to say the shit that these people are doing is evil or whatever. So now when you see horns, you automatically think, oh, it's something bad. But really, the horns are a symbol of nature, and the horns are a symbol of the mountains of the earth or whatnot. So now, what I'm gonna do, show y'all something else. All right. Yeah, that should be enough time to get busy. Get busy. Get retarded. 9 out of 10 of these MCs are garbage. Let's see. From the sneakers. That nigga Cannabis, one of the greatest MCs out. This is random, but maybe it's a good thing he didn't get all that glitz and glam of the music industry. But that nigga was one of the greatest MCs ever. They kind of got a bad rap. That should do it right there. Right there. Bingo. Now, show y'all some things here. Go back. Okay. If you look at this right here, this is the Earth. Remember I told you in the Formation of the Earth video that I ain't got damn, I should have brought it. Anyway, at first everything was like a flat coin. You had the darkness, the dark waters of noon at the top. You had the light at the bottom. Then the light went up straight down the middle and spread out throughout the surface of the darkness, while melanin came straight down the center on a what you call the ashland or the asher. Ash was created in the center when the melanin, the light was going up, was meeting with the melanin that was coming down and created ash that grew from out of the center down and pushed down with, and for each spear of light that went up, a ball of melanin came down attached to that spine and pushed on down. So originally this one was right here, then that pushed down, kind of like the process of pushing out a baby, would have pushed that down and push down, and it created, then the one that was originally first ended up right here. The first should be last, and last should be first thing. That's where all that come from. So, but as that light that was originally down here, and this was the darkness, when that light was pushing towards this way to come up the center, it was pushing up and pushing black mountains up. And it was 7 rings, so it was 7 mountains. Now right here, that's what these two right here represent. It was a mountain, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It was a mountain for each one of these coming up. So it was a circular mountains on the surface of the earth. And if you used to halving it up, it'd be 2 half circles. A half circle of 7 mountains on this side, and a half circle of 7 mountains on this side. 7 plus 7, that's 14. The number of Osiris was the number of pieces he was cutting to, or whatever. So that's why the antlers and the horns of the antlers of the deer and the horns of the bull were represented on the. That's why the earth was represented by the bull, because of the horns on the head of the bull was similar to the mountains coming up out of the earth. And instead of drawing all the 7, I just drew 1 on each side, because each pyramid represents 7. You had 3 corners, and then the base of the pyramid has 4 corners. 3 plus 4, that's 7 or whatnot. And then you have the miniature version, which would be the pyramids of Giza right here. So the pyramids of Giza, the middle pyramid would be the pineal gland, or corresponds to the pineal gland, and the 2 on the side are analogous with the left and right hemisphere of the brain or whatever. So I showed you the microcosmic, the macrocosmic version of it, the big version of it. Then I showed you I'm showing you the version of it in Kemet, which they use to represent the whole process. So that's where the horns come from. They call your horns. Now, your bat, here go the bat right here. When you start dealing with the center, that's why Batman has the underground cave. Wayne Manor, underground cave. These are the wings of the bat, and if you look, you can see the ears and the head or whatnot, with this being the bat or whatever. So you have your bull, then you have your bat, the bata or whatever, the bull and the bat. Let me see, let me look at like on the time. 10 minutes, I can get it off, Okay. So let me go back to this. It says the abacus had to be marked in a certain manner. Herodotus states that the bull must be black with a square white spot on his forehead. This is what you call the kite of Osiris. Ancient Egypt light of the world. You'll hear about the kite of Osiris. And you can see it even looks like a kite. I don't even think kids these days even know what the fuck a kite is? I don't think these motherfuckers know what a kite is. But a kite is a string with a triangle on the top, with a triangle triangle on the top, triangle sail, like same sail that they use on boats, something like that. But we used to fly those in the sky. It's involved, but this is the kite of Osiris. This is the square. You take two triangles, put them on top of each other, or put them together with the bases, put them together at the bases, and it creates a square. This is the square, the two triangles, the diamond. This is the forehead, horn, forehead. The white square. The white square at the forehead. The reason you have to have a white square at the forehead because the white square would be he's basically saying that white square would be the pineal gland, which is also Syrian and whatnot, sitting in the center. When he says that, let me go back to this. It says the form of an eagle on his back. The form of the eagle is the sun. I told you birds, vultures, hawks, falcons, and all that are sacred to Horus. Now you remember when in the formation of the earth breakdown, what I told you, after all that light, you had light going up the center, you had the melanin coming down, all the water evaporated out of the melanin as the light rose up and created this ladder or this pillar right here. And after the pillar was created, the light, all the light in the center of each one of these melanin clusters went up. The melanin clusters that encased it dropped down here, and you had water coming up out of just like the sun evaporates water from the oceans, the light rising up caused the melanin, the water within the dark melanin, this is where you get the separation of the waters from. It caused the waters to rise up out of the melanin and follow the light. But when all the light finally met up in here and hopped out of the surface of the earth, or the center of the earth, the water couldn't follow. And due to the lack of heat in the center of the earth, due to the light coming out of it, which was the heat, the water froze and created a ice dome, or the moon at the top. That's why I said that it had a crescent on the back, because that's the moon or whatever, the white moon. When it says that and it says he had to have a beetle up on or under his tongue. This is Ptah, the scarab beetle. This would be the tongue of the bull. Each one of these would be Ptah, or beetle, the scarab. If you go look at the scarab emblem, you'll see it's similar. It resembles how I have these with the arms right here, the ball, arms or whatever. Ptah is the tunneler, the prairie dog, who digged all the tunnels within the core or within the earth, which created the reservoirs of water and whatnot. So that's your Ptah, the Ptah beetle on his tongue. And then it says that in the hair of his tail lying two ways. So that's when this interchanges. A lot of this stuff interchanges. So the reason why I said the tail split two ways is symbolic of the pillar that went down this way and the pillar that went up. The tail split two ways or whatever. Let's see what else we got here. Oh yeah, I'm about to tell y'all about the whole equinox thing. All right. So let's say that we're dealing with the Christmas, right? If it was Christmas, the sun would be right here. On December 26th, when the sun is at its lowest position in regards to the earth, or in relation to the earth, the sun would be right here, right? So when the earth began to move from that position, and we start going more towards spring and summer, the earth is going to move this way. And it's going to keep moving till eventually the sun lines up with the earth right here. So the sun would be like right here, and then the earth would be right here, or the sun would be right here, and the earth would be right here. That's what the whole Easter thing is about. That's the spring equinox. That's when it's called fair exit. On March 22nd, the sun lines up right in a position where the sun is right here, and it's lined out evenly up with the horizon line of the earth or whatnot. It's called fair exit. So the sunlight would shoot straight through here, straight through the side of the pyramids, and come out this way. It's what's called fair exit. Fair exit, justice. Mayat. This is Mayat. When you go read, when you go look up, see the symbol of Mayat, it's the woman with the angel wings stretched out. Here you go, your angel wings stretched out right here or whatever. So when the sun gets right here, then you have the zodiac out here. Just work with me, but the zodiac will be out here. So say we did them with the Taurus as the spring equinox. The earth will be right here, the sun will be right here, and then the Taurus sign will be like out here. So it'll be the Taurus, the sun, and then the earth. So the sun will be seen as being inside of the Taurus constellation, or the Taurus zodiac or whatever. And then, but that zodiac is constantly moving. So after 2,160 years, eventually the next sign, which was the Aries, would find its way right there. And then when the sun and the earth meet up again right there, the east side rendezvous, then the sun will be considered the Aries sun and the Aries zodiac. So how much time we got left? Well, just about out of time, folks. But I think I got some more bullshit I want to kick later on before the season is out. See, this is tourist season. But right now, it's about that time to load it up. I enjoyed this one right here. So yeah, I just wanted to show y'all how you know, we originally viewed animals in the way that we saw animals. And speaking of animals, man, we talking about the great ascension and the grand awakening of humans. I ain't gonna hold you. I be on TikTok, and the way them goddamn cats and dogs, I'm starting to think these. Well, are we counting them out? Cause I'm starting to think these motherfuckers are evolving. And in the sacred science, it do says that everything is in the process of evolving. And Secret Teachings of All Ages, it's a section in there where he even says that people are in commission to becoming planets, animals are in commission to becoming people, people are in commission to becoming planets, something like that. And I don't know, man, because some of these goddamn animals, shit, I need to get me a cat or a dog. I love them both, but them goddamn cats is something else, boy. I seen both of them do this. I seen a cat and a dog raise up and open a fucking door. Fuck me up. And I do get a cat and a dog. I'm gonna have to keep an eye on that motherfucker. Stranger danger. Don't open that door for you. Gotta talk to that motherfucker like your kids. Don't open that door for nobody but me, goddamn it. Shit. But yeah, man.